Hi, John McElroy here, talking all things automotive. You know, Elon Musk has a habit of overpromising and underdelivering. The good news is that ultimately he almost always does deliver, but not always. For example, he's been promising full autonomous driving for years, but every year he keeps pushing back the deadline to next year. So the robo-taxis that were supposed to be here in 2020 still have not hit the streets. I think the same thing's going to happen with Elon's boast that Tesla will sell 20 million cars a year by 2030. I think that's a physical impossibility by then, and in fact, I don't think it's ever going to happen. And here's why. Last year, Tesla made nearly 1 million cars with only 2 assembly plants. That's not just impressive, it's beyond amazing. This year, Tesla opened up its plants in Berlin and Austin, and they're going to easily double the company's production capacity when they get up to full line speed, probably sometime early next year. On top of that, Tesla says Giga Shanghai and Giga Austin are both going to be able to crank out 2 million vehicles a year apiece. So once it gets to that level, Tesla will have the capacity to make 5 million cars a year. That would make it bigger than Mercedes, BMW, Honda, Nissan, Renault, and even Ford. And I do believe that is possible. Those automakers should be quaking in their boots. But to go from 5 million a year to 20 million by 2030 is more than just a stretch goal. It's a near physical impossibility. Even though Tesla seems to be able to build new assembly plants faster than other automakers, it still takes it 3 years to go from site selection to line speed. And line speed is the key word here. Yeah, you can put up the steel infrastructure in the walls and the roof in record time, and you can get the machinery into the plant quickly, and then have a drive-off ceremony where you declare the plant officially open. But to get up to line speed takes everyone, even Tesla, about a year. So Tesla needs to add 15 million units of manufacturing capacity in the next 7.5 years if it wants to get to 20 million units by the end of the decade. And since it takes 3 years to go from site selection to line speed, that means the last of its new assembly plants would have to be site selected by 2027. That's only 5 years away. So let's assume Tesla can boost production in Shanghai and Austin to 2 million a year apiece. That means it could make 5 million vehicles using only 4 assembly plants. So if it wants to make 20 million vehicles, that means it needs 12 more assembly plants. And it's only got 5 years to do that, meaning it should have already started. But to give the company the benefit of the doubt, let's say all of its plants going forward will be like Austin and Shanghai and capable of making 2 million cars apiece. Well then, it needs the equivalent of 7.5 giant assembly plants. 7.5 plants in 5 years' time. Again, it would have to start building them almost immediately to hit its goal by 2030. I don't believe it can do that. But for argument's sake, let's just say it can. And then the question becomes, can it sell that many? I gotta tell you, I just got out of test driving the Kia EV6, and it's a real compelling electric car. Tesla has not faced much competition so far. And I'm not saying that the EV6 is a Tesla killer, because it's not. But it is a compelling EV that's going to capture a lot of buyers. And as other automakers come out with compelling electrics in market segments and price points where Tesla does not compete, they're going to grab a lot of buyers too. And while I would never underestimate what Tesla can do, this idea that it's going to be selling 20 million electric cars a year by the end of the decade, it's just not credible. In fact, I don't think it's ever going to happen.